Dr. Derek Mance reporting, Research Director, Gate Cascade Research Facility. After yesterday's fiasco, I've made a formal request to extend general anomaly storage immediately. We've requisitioned Ordo 113, only to discover that some effect from 221 had turned it permanently blue. I've made it clear to Henderson. This is not acceptable. Ordo subjects may be deemed low risk, but the range of phenomena is too diverse to jam them together like sardines. Dr. Derek Mance reporting, Research Director, Gate Cascade Research Facility. Originating in Antiverse 2, IS-171 is a stationary, sessile entity that traps its food with a retractable tentacle. The experience of being caught is rather like being attacked by an angry pizza. It presents no real threat, but leaves an enduring, not entirely unpleasant smell on anything it touches. Suggestions for possible applications include perfume, industrial scents, and olfactory-based crowd control weapons. This is Dr. Derek Mance. Today, I discovered that Dr. Stern's latest software experiment was simulating the entire facility. A microcosm of Cascade, and every staff member within it. Even myself, I gather. When I asked about it, he claimed to be trying to find a way to accelerate our research. I inquired about the ethical considerations, and he just looked at me blankly. The man is a genius, but more dangerous to this facility than most of its subjects. I'm sure of it. An exceptional scientist, all the same. Dr. Derek Mance reporting, Research Director. We now believe IS-171, or the carbuncle, as Peters was calling it, is the larval form of IS-173, and almost certainly 178. Dr. Pendleton speculates there may also be a fourth state we have not yet encountered, and I believe she may be correct. If this is correct, it is an extraordinary shift in our understanding. This is Dr. Derek Mance. One of the most interesting aspects of the 173's life cycle is how rapidly it evolves. The high-energy conditions of our universe compared to the torpid energetics of Antiverse 2 appear to accelerate their growth immensely. It's humbling, if not a little frightening, to watch life forms alter so quickly. The explosion of Antiverse flora in reactors was far from an isolated event. It goes to the very nature of life in that realm. Dr. Mance reporting. IS-178, the peccary, as it was so ineptly dubbed by one of my puerile co-workers, is more intelligent than it first seemed. In fact, it grows smarter and more capable over the course of its life cycle, before morphing into the later life cycle phase. Dr. Manbanco even managed to teach it a few simple tricks, with only minor burns, I believe. Dr. Derek Mance reporting. Although it remains essentially hostile, these peccary can be taught to respond to basic commands, as Dr. Manbanco has demonstrated so performatively. As its biosystems work much more swiftly here, it learns extremely rapidly. Many on the executive committee will want a weapon, I'm sure. Their imagination reaches no further. But if we can just breed the aggression out, the peccary would make an extraordinary work beast. Our world has enough toys of war. This is Dr. Derek Mance. As our understanding of perforation technology grows, we have discovered new facets of its physical laws. One of the most fascinating is temporal tethering. Each entry to an antiverse seems to start a timer, which resets after a given period, as though a band of time stretches before snapping back to its origin. I'm confident we will understand this phenomenon in time, but until we do, it violates a dozen scientific principles. Private note. It's undeniable that operations at Cascade are being monitored by external forces. This much the Cascade Executive Committee have been permitted to know. Exactly who has been infiltrating our communications, and to what ends, remains unknown. Or rather, those who know refuse to say. I've been directed to tell my team that we are conducting some security drills, but the threat seems quite real. Dr. Derek Mance, Cascade. The first instances of IS-064 appeared barely seconds after our first successful perforation event. It appears to exude a fog or mist that has overtaken Flat Hill entirely. The surviving residents have been evacuated and a cordon established around the town, citing a chemical spill. The residents, not to mention our counterparts at the EPA, are less than impressed. But the knowledge we already gained, even in this short time, is beyond value.